Zara Williams was not just rich. She was the heir to one of the largest conglomerates in the country. Her father, Mr. Alexander Williams, owned multinational companies in real estate, fashion, and technology. Money was never an issue, but Zara had never been one to flaunt her wealth. She despised how people changed when they discovered her background, how they suddenly became overly nice, seeking favors or treating her differently. When it was time for secondary school, Zara made a bold decision. She convinced her father to enroll her in a public school, far from the elite institutions where other wealthy kids studied. She didn't want to be surrounded by people who judged her based on her last name. Instead, she longed for genuine friendships, real experiences, and the freedom to live like an ordinary teenager. With her father's reluctant approval, Zara started school under a disguise. She wore simple clothes, used a second-hand backpack, and never spoke about her family. She lived in a mansion, but every morning, she would leave the house in a chauffeur-driven car only to sneak into a quiet street, where she would take a local bus to school. Zara's new school was nothing like the posh environments she had been used to. The classrooms were overcrowded, the desks old, and the textbooks worn out. But she loved it. The students were free-spirited and full of life. From the very first day, she noticed how different people treated each other. Some students formed groups based on wealth, while others bullied the weaker ones. Despite her modest appearance, Zara was determined to find a real friend, someone who would see her for who she truly was. That's when she met Tasha. Tasha was a quiet but kind girl, always standing up for those who couldn't defend themselves. Unlike many students who were desperate to impress the rich kids, Tasha remained true to herself. She was smart, hardworking, and never looked down on anyone. One day, when a group of students mocked Zara for wearing the same pair of shoes for weeks, Tasha came to her defense. "Why does it matter what she wears? She's here to learn, just like the rest of us," Tasha said firmly. From that day on, Zara knew she had found a true friend. As the years passed, Zara and Tasha became inseparable. They studied together, shared their lunch, and supported each other. While Zara was secretly wealthy, Tasha's life was difficult. Her mother worked multiple jobs to pay the school fees, and sometimes Tasha skipped meals just to help her younger siblings. Zara often wished she could help, but she knew that revealing her true identity might change everything. She didn't want to risk losing Tasha's genuine friendship. Instead, she helped in small ways, sharing her lunch, tutoring Tasha in subjects she struggled with, and even slipping a little extra money into her notebook now and then. Tasha never questioned these gestures, only expressing gratitude for having a loyal friend. As their final year of secondary school approached, the students were eager for what lay ahead. Some planned to work immediately, while others dreamed of university. For Tasha, higher education seemed impossible due to financial struggles. Then, one fateful morning, the school principal made an announcement. A prestigious international company has decided to award a fully funded scholarship to the best student in this school. The winner will get the opportunity to study abroad. Excitement filled the air. Students whispered about who had the best chance. Zara had always been among the top students, but so had Tasha. The exams were tough, but both girls gave it their all. When the results were announced, Zara had won the scholarship. The entire school erupted in applause, except for a few students who had always looked down on her. But then came the biggest surprise. Zara was allowed to bring one person with her. She didn't hesitate. "I want to take my best friend, Tasha," the crowd gasped. Many of Zara's classmates had never considered Tasha important. Some of them scoffed, while others looked confused. But Tasha was in tears. "Me?" she asked, her voice shaking. "Yes, Tasha, you're the only one who's ever treated me like a real person." As excitement filled the school, Zara knew it was time to come clean. Standing on stage, she took a deep breath. "There's something I've been hiding," she began. "I'm not actually poor. My real name is Zara Williams, and my father is the owner of Williams Enterprises." Gasps echoed through the hall. The same students who had once ignored her were now looking at her with wide eyes. Some were shocked, others embarrassed. "I didn't tell anyone because I wanted real friendships. I wanted to know what it felt like to be treated for who I am, not for my last name." Silence followed. Many of her classmates looked ashamed, realizing they had misjudged her. Some of the students who had mocked her suddenly wanted to be her friend. But Zara knew who had been there for her from the beginning. She turned to Tasha. "You were the only one who respected me no matter what. That's why I want you to come with me. Let's chase our dreams together." Tasha, overwhelmed, burst into tears. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Zara said with a smile. And Tasha did. A few weeks later, both girls were on a plane, leaving behind their old lives and stepping into a future full of possibilities. Tasha still couldn't believe it. She had spent years worrying about her future, never imagining she would get such an opportunity, and all because she had chosen to be kind, not knowing that the poor girl she defended was actually a hidden heiress. As they looked out of the airplane window, Zara turned to her best friend. "This is just the beginning, Tasha." And with that, they soared into a new chapter of their lives together.